Welcome to the Shakedown Sound Series.
In this series, we're going to share with you envelope filters by some of our favorite manufacturers.
Join us on this long, strange trip. The Shakedown Sound today is being brought to you by the Dusk from Dr. Scientists from our friends in Canada, another Canadian pedal manufacturer. Beard's going to tell you a little bit about this pedal that has a lot of features.
Right. And so I don't know what's going on up in Canada. Right. We got TL pedals.
Yeah.
We had the Impress tremolo, everything we get from Canada. We tend to like.
Right.
And they have these great little made in Canada stickers on them.
Yep.
So the only thing I'll say before we move on is please, for the love of God, open your border.
There's a lake house that's lonely.
Right. I can't go another summer without some poutine. Feature loaded envelope filter. I've actually been really excited about doing this one, and I've played with it a good bit, trying to figure out all the different features that it has packed in and how we're going to try to present those to you, so you get an idea of what's going on. Shout out to them for sending this over to us so we could add it to the series. Right. And we really appreciate that. So, the Doodah Man.
Yes.
So if you've been watching the envelope series, we always start here. Can it get the sound from the Doodah Man? So.
Every time you hit that chord, I go to Clapton and Cream in the white room.
Oh, really?
So we move away from Jerry.
It super touch sensitive on this one. I mean, in general, envelope filters are the harder you hit the pick, the more it's going to quack. But I feel like on this one, you can really do that. You can really get that thing happening. So, sounds from the Doodah Man.
Mission accomplished.
Affirmative. Some more tweaking probably could get closer to whatever your thought is on what the sound from the Doodah Man is. So let's get into it. Right now we're using it in the envelope filter mode. I'm gonna hit the tuner. Give Pat the cable. So right now we're using an envelope filter mode. Features. Let's talk features. You have two buttons down here. You have a bypass, on-off button. You have a tap tempo button, but that button also has other features in other modes. Even the on-off button, if you press and hold that, will allow you to cycle through presets that are built. There's 4 presets built into the pedal. It is MIDI capable. There is a, MIDI plug over on the left-hand side. There's an expression jack on the right-hand side that can do expression control voltage. You have this left button right above my finger cycles through the cut mode, the envelope filter mode, and the LFO mode. And then this does secondary features in those modes. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Volume is pretty self-explanatory. If you need to push the volume a little bit, you can push the volume. So then we're down to two knobs, the filter and the resonance. And because I can, I will. The filter knob. This knob controls the position of the filter in each mode. In cut mode, this is your main frequency cutoff control. With the filter all the way up, the filter is fully open. With the knob all the way down, the filter is fully closed. In envelope mode, you can limit the range of the filter sweep, turn the knob up or down, keep the filter movement in that range. In the LFO mode, you use the filter knob to set the range of the filter sweep. Leave it at noon for maximum LFO depth, turn it up or down to keep the LFO movement in that range. Mouthful. The resonance knob then controls how much of the input signal is fed back into the input of the filter. The resonance adds an interesting tonal quality to the filter sweep, a sound that pairs well with sweeping through frequencies and just sounds cool and filtery. Too much resonance can lead to feedback, a loud howling sound, or a weird laser sound. We like those, which may or may not suit your musical vision. There's a little blue trim pot on the Dusk PCB that lets you dial in the maximum resonance just right for your setup and taste. Top right corner says res adjust around it.
And as per usual, we didn't touch that.
Yeah, we didn't touch that.
But I can see that. And maybe when we go through, you'll see, because we were trying to dial in the Doodah sound. And I was tweaking the resonance because I hadn't had much experience. And when you did go to the right, it got weird. And like I said, like, not the pew-pew lasers. Like, yeah. So maybe if you did trim that back, you could have a different sweep in that knob. But
yeah,
we're not going to do that on today's episode.
A true envelope filter, analog, I should say, a true analog envelope filter, digitally controlled. And there's a lot of digital control built into this pedal.
Right.
And I would say of the ones we've looked at so far, this is the first one that's really stepping into that, like, okay, how can we add digital and really make this crazy? There'll be some more in the future that do that, maybe that are fully digital. Right. But we're still in the analog world with this one, which is cool. Okay. How do we approach this?
Well, the tuner is on, so we won't have any signal. That'll be the first thing.
All right. You want to do reference tone?
Sure. Early 2000s Les Paul Classic, Thornbuckers, Tyler PT 20 JT 22. I'm gonna play that better later tomorrow.
So let's start. And since we're really kind of doing this about envelope filters, we'll start in the envelope filter mode, maybe move the filter and the resonance around a little bit. And then if I hit this button on the right, you'll see that turn to red. And what that is, that's the up filter. So we're in the down sweep right now. I'll let you play. We'll move these two knobs. Then we'll hit that and move them some more and just get an idea for what the envelope filter by itself sounds like.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The resonance, you could hear that kind of oscillation, and the resonance was up to the top.
Right. Like I said before, it's really, really sensitive to your touch.
Mm-hmm.
Like which is nice. Like when you're not trying to demo it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Because
I probably hit it hard the whole time.
You're right.
There was no subtleness in my picking.
An interesting thing when we're in this mode here is if we go to the tap tempo switch, if Pat's playing and I hold that down, it will actually grab the filter wherever it is when I push it down and keep it there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try and grab it when it's kind of on the downside of the filter and try and grab it when it's on the upside of the filter, just to give you an inkling of what that sounds like real quick before we...
Do you want the hook thing again? Or
Yeah,
okay.
thing.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting feature.
Right, because you can, if you know you're going to hit it and it's going to get a high quack, you can grab it and keep it there.
Right.
Or if it's like kind of low and muted, you can grab it and keep it there too.
Yeah, before we fired up the cameras, when it was in that low and muted mode, I'm like, well, I didn't say it, but I would be interested with a looper. You could almost play your own fretless bass sounding line with a looper with that. But
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of the envelope filter.
Right.
And I will say this, it's not like some of the envelope filters we've looked at, you have two knobs like the sensitivity and the, what do they call it on some of the other ones? There's a host, there's a host of other names, but where those I think really kind of affect each other a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a little bit different, but I feel like it's really easy to kind of get a sound that you like.
I mean, in the overdrive world, it would be, here's your gain, here's your tone. And they affect each other, but not when you switch this, it really changes this knob. They're
not
independent.
These
are pretty independent.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the cut. And we're not going to stay here real long. So now the resonance knob is changing. Well, I'll let you play. We'll change. I think it makes more sense just to turn some knobs while you play and see if we can't hear what it's doing. And so I'm purposely leaving things up kind of high because let's go back to this knob and the right button. Push the right button once, it changes how the foot switch, the tap tempo foot switch is going to affect it. All of it's like sweeping it, but it's how fast it sweeps it or whatever. And easier again, just to demo. Maybe this time it is a chord that we hold out. So he's going to play a chord. I'm going to push this. You'll hear it sweep. And then when you let it go, it will sweep back. We'll do that once or twice. Come up and hit this button and go through the 3 different versions of that for you.
All right. The dreaded D minor chord. Last one was long. Yeah. Very long.
And it's almost like they're different lengths on the 3, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super cool. Like if you were playing, Which one's the short one?
The first one. It was the first or
I
second.
think it's the next one. What if you go to the single thing?
Yeah. Would be cool.
It was definitely cool on the chords.
Right.
Maybe if you were playing and hitting it, you could get it to line up a little better. That's the cut mode. Secondary features. Now,
The LFOs where it gets fun.
So now we're in the LFO mode. Let's maybe not make that so dramatic. We have 6 different, so the right-hand button is going to give us 6 different different waveforms. So now we're getting back almost back to our tremolo world, right? So we start with a sine, then we go to a ramp, then we go to a saw wave, and I'm gonna say it right now, the saw wave is my personal favorite.
Simple.
On this pedal, it's just there's something cool about it. Sample, no. What is it? Saw wave and then square wave, sample and hold, and then random. Sample and hold. It took me a while to kind of figure this out, but think about it. Instead of like it going and then just dropping straight down, it like holds it, drops a little bit, holds it, drops a little bit, holds it, drops a little bit, holds it, and then maybe goes back up or whatever. But sample and hold. Mm-hmm. And then the last one being random. So good luck. I think we let you play a little bit,
right,
just to show the waveforms. And I'll flip through the waveforms while you try and play over top of that, which should be interesting.
Right. No, it's not a defective cable.
Yeah, right. It is so, and keep in mind, we just did the 6 different waves.
Right.
Did not touch the filter or resonance knob. So all the different like kind of sounds that you could get in that could be dumped into those too. So the amount of sounds that can come out of this and the strangeness that you could get, the sample and hold feature, the random feature, like, I mean, how would you even, where would you put this? How would you put it? And the creative ways that you could use it, I think, are endless. One thing we did not show you is on the tap tempo. So we're going to go back to the saw wave because it's my favorite. It doesn't matter if you like it or not.
I'll learn to like it.
Go back to the saw wave. I'll change the tap tempo. So maybe you want to hold it and I'll change tap tempo. But then if we press and hold that secondary feature on the tap tempo switch, it should ramp down. And then when we take off, it should ramp back up to where we were. So let's try that.
Yeah, you can get real creative with that.
Right.
That's cool.
So you have the ramp, but that's not all.
Right.
So there's two things left that I think are worth mentioning. One is the expression input. We should play with that a little bit. And then the second one is and we'll start here, is the presets. So if we turn the pedal on, we have, I'm going to get out of
You don't like the pulsing sound of it?
the throb mode. I think we're back in envelope filter here.
Yep.
If I press and hold, we're now in the green preset. And we have the envelope filter. You want to play just a second? So we're going to save that to the green preset simply by grabbing the left button and holding it. So that should be saved. Now I'm going to go and hold this. Now we're in the purple preset. And let's set that to be so again, press and hold. And that's not saved in the purple. So that's two presets. Blue preset. Yellow preset. White preset, maybe. And you might have trouble seeing those lights on the camera. I can never figure it out.
Right.
Somebody knows what they're doing could probably do that.
Go on over.
Back to the green, so it should be envelope filter right now. Purple. So yeah.
Man down.
So back in the envelope filter. The last thing, we have hooked the expressionator up, and I'm going to take an expression cable, a rattlesnake cable.
Rattlesnake sighting.
Rattlesnake, hashtag rattlesnake sighting. Plug into the Dusk, and we have a Mission EP1 that we're going to put on the floor. The reason we're using the expression pedal, the expressionator tonight, is because you can see heel,
right,
toe. And so we can put this on the floor where Pat can control it, but you can still see what's happening using the expressionator. And if you haven't seen the expressionator, check out the video on that because it's really a fantastic tool beyond what we're using it for right now.
Is this venomous down there?
So right now you are in
envelope, right?
You're in envelope filter, adding the expression pedal, which is controlling, I think, the filter.
Okay.
While you play that, I'm going to look.
I was trying to make it go down one light at a time. He wasn't doing a great job.
So that was controlling filter.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's in the envelope filter mode. If we switch to the cut mode, Now we're taking over the filter knob.
You get that middle sound.
Kind of like a wah, right?
It is. The temptation was to try not to use it as a wah, but
and then still taking over the filter knob if we switch down to LFO. That's really cool.
Yeah, we're almost having a wonderful Christmas time.
I went back and listened to that song after we did that. It's
pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. I believe, with the exception of showing you the MIDI functions, and the manual talks about how the MIDI functions come set
That's
up.
a different channel. Not even a different episode. That's a different channel.
No pun intended.
Right.
That was pretty good, and he didn't even mean to do
That's
it.
that's true. The accidental genius.
Right? I think that's it.
I was going to comment on the sparkly. The finish of this thing is awesome. I keep looking at it, and every time I do this, the light hits it differently. There's great like flex in the finish, like reddish flex, and then kind of you got the the wink and a nod to the sun coming down, and it's really well done. And even the colors of the LEDs and everything, it's a really cool pedal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot packed into that.
There is.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think sometimes, because your envelope filters can be kind of that. You can't use them every song.
I say very niche-y, maybe.
Right.
If that's a word. It is
like,
now. Even
somebody like, Jerry or Bob Weir or something that used it a lot didn't use it every song.
Right.
Right. Like, it's not, you just can't turn on an envelope filter and be off and running. So to have a pedal, I think that packs a lot of other options in, even though there's still filters.
Right.
But like that sine wave, that the LFO stuff with a filter is totally different, pretty unique, and to me doesn't sound like just using an envelope filter.
And with the presets, you can get there.
Right.
It's like some pedal manufacturers we talked to, like, well, at a minimum, leave it on your board and use it as a boost, right? For some of the drive pedals. Well, this, you could have an envelope filter, leave it on your board, but have these presets to do other things.
Right. And some of the LFOs, you could back that filter off a little bit so it's not... Like, you're not trying to get a tremolo. If you want a tremolo, get a tremolo. But if you want something unique, right, yeah. There's
a bunch of them up here.
If you want something unique, I think there's some unique stuff there. Even the cut feature that almost just kind of gets you back to a wah. So you could have like a cut preset. You could have an envelope preset and then have maybe a sine wave and a saw wave or a sample and hold or something that's a little bit different that adds another flavor. So anyway, I think I like that. And easy, I'm gushing a little bit, but I mean, I really dig this pedal. And it's not just because they sent it to us.
Right. Right.
I dig this pedal. It's really cool. So that's the first pedal that we've tried from Dr. Scientist, and I'm going to say I hope not the last.
Right. I have to get lab coats and get another pedal.
Right. So with that, I think always like to take a moment, pause, and just say thank you for watching. Thanks everybody that's subscribing, clicking the notification bell, hitting the like button, going down below, leaving a comment. In the comments, I would love to know, like, if you were using the LFO feature on this. anything about the envelope filter that you want to say too. But the LFO feature, I would love to know how like you might use that or where you might use that, and stop out to Instagram, Facebook, and join the conversation there. And I think with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. And here comes the jam. Simply having a wonderful March time.